Check, 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 check.
Hello, hello, hello.
Check, 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 check.
Yep, you're live, bro.
Welcome back into the live stream. We're about to go live here. Sorry, guys, we just had to fix the setting, but we're here. Give us 1 second. We're about to go in.
We're still in that CWT. Yeah.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Let me tell you. So when programs update without your knowledge, you start to figure out that they turn certain things off that they don't tell you where it's at. So we figured it out. We're here. Welcome in to the CWTM podcast live.
Yo, everybody.
How we doing tonight,
You know
Coach?
what's funny, man, is that most people think it's so easy to set up a podcast and just hit record and go and do what you need to do. And that might be some of the case when you're actually doing just a recording, right? But when you're starting to do live, it becomes a whole different beast and a whole different animal that you have to deal with. So again, thank you guys for your patience. For those that stood around, I understand that some of them were like, man, here these dudes go again and they can't get it
Man,
right.
and last week, man, I was so frustrated. I was like, and it didn't matter what I clicked on because the AI chat that they have you go through, because America don't give you a number anymore, because I don't know if they just don't have anybody to answer it or if they just don't care to answer it.
Yeah,
and I'll let you guys know now, we don't have a number for y'all either.
yeah, we really don't, bro. We don't.
But this week, man, how's your week going so far, Coach?
It's been crazy this week, bro. Like, I know that we got this game that we're getting ready to go down to in Vegas, and so that's Pro Arena that we're about ready to go out there and deal with, and I'm looking forward to it. At the same token, I'm like, okay, look, my guys usually play 11 on 11, and we getting ready to go in here and put on a show, but me and Coach Mondo both have Coach Pro Arena, so it's not really that hard for us to make the adjustments. It's a question of our players making the adjustment when it comes full speed, and it's something that we've been practicing for the last month and a half to get them prepared for this game. So you never know what's going to happen. You just do your best, you prepare your best, and then you go forward. It's no different than when we prepare messages, right? When we're coming before anybody or before God's people and stuff, it's prepare, question, go back and prepare again. And then when you finally end up getting up there, you're like, man, I didn't even say half the stuff that I prepared for, but that's what the Spirit takes over. So I got to trust our players of everything that we prepared them for, that they're going to be able to go ahead and accomplish everything that they possibly can. So I'm looking forward to that. This week's been a little hectic, just due to the fact of work and this heat. My goodness, this heat in Denver. I mean, I know everybody's complaining about it, but triple digits is not something that we're used to here in Colorado, like at all.
Yeah, it's definitely hot, man. I'm out there doing asphalt, and
that's right, man.
It's definitely been challenging, and thank God they're giving us a little bit of grace to come in out of the heat a little early, a couple days. But I mean, what's funny is we gonna complain it's too hot
when it get cold,
and then in a couple months we're gonna complain it's too cold. So man, that's all we're gonna do is just keep complaining. So
yeah, it's nice, man. It's been challenging because I've been wanting to get out there and actually fish. But I know that as the heat is so bad on these fish, it puts a lot of strain and stress on them, especially the ones that you're about ready to throw back. Sometimes that they get so stressed out of it because of the heat that they don't make it. So you're like, man, why am I even out here? I mean, the responsible fishermen.
I was gonna say, man, I don't know, man. If it's a hazard, man, throw them in the pan.
Sometimes they too small. I'm like, oh man, you too small. I can't even get 2 bites out of you, bro. You got to go grow. What about you, man? How was your week?
Man, you know what? This week, and I came to find the understanding yesterday that I kind of understand now why it's been so hectic for me, and it's because what I shared with you offline, which we're going to get into on our
live. You'll have
cut.
to tune in next week for that.
Yeah, so this next episode 60 that we're going to cut, I kind of feel like I kind of felt some extra push because it hasn't been, you know what I mean, and I think the enemy was out to try to make a point this round, and it didn't, but I definitely felt, you know what I mean. I felt the hits on the armor, and yeah. So this week's been a little hectic, and it's funny because, like I was explaining to you at men's group last night, little situations like this have been hitting me for like the last 3 weeks. I mean, nonstop stuff that like, okay, this updated, but there's no instruction on the update. And so to add fun to it all, right? I get this new MacBook. I'm so excited. You know, God gave me an opportunity to upgrade to what I want versus what I could afford. And praise the Lord for that.
Isn't that amazing how God does that?
Yeah. And but when he gave me that, right? Obviously something else didn't appreciate it, because the little bit of swings I got, like, okay, so I add my Apple account, all of a sudden passwords get mixed up somehow, and I don't know how, because I'm pretty on my P's and Q's when it comes.
You really are, bro.
And so that happened, but there, like, I go to get my medication and the locker's locked, and you know I think what it was doing is it was preparing me for this episode that we're going to cut, because there's a lot of what ifs, right? And we could rabbit hole on the what ifs. Like, what if we go to war? What if the gas keeps going up? What if this? What if this? But we're so easy to give so much energy to the what ifs that we're not ready to survive the what is. And that, I think this was built up for this, because as I was
listen, let's touch a little bit about that, because what is, and like you said, right now everybody's talking about I'm gonna hold on to more of my money. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that, because I'm so much in fear of what if this happens. And we're seeing that happening right now, and that kind of touches what we're going to talk about in our regular podcast. But the fear is what I wanted to jump on. Like, there's a lot of people that are stagnant and staying in one place because of the fear. What if? So that's a little bit that we're going to end up hitting up into this thing. What if it goes good? What if it goes bad?
Well, we never say what if it goes right. It's always, and you know what? We're so hardwired, especially men, and I'm speaking for me, that I prepare myself for the worst, so that way when it hits me, I could buck back, and most of the time I cause it to be worse. So when I buck back,
Yo, man, don't give away the whole episode.
The episode's going to be way deeper than this. This is just kind of like giving you the prelude to why I felt it was so important to say that, and the meaning behind this episode.
I like that, man. And you're right. We do, as men, instead of thinking about what if everything goes right, because we're always looking at preparing for what goes wrong and being ready to have an answer for it and move to the left or move to the right.
No one ever says, hey, I'm going to join Coach and Chris at church, because what if God is there to make a move?
Fact.
You know what they always say? Well, what if he's not?
What I mean? What if I don't like it then?
Yeah. I mean, like, what if?
Why would I open my Bible? What if it doesn't do me any good? What if it does you exactly what you need?
Yeah. So other than that, my week has been now I understand. And as I was on my live coming down here, I do my little Tuesday update as I'm driving down. And I said, I enjoy these conversations more than I think anyone who tunes in, you know what I mean? And I'm writing them, but it's still so for me, it's an outlet to work through something that we got going. So if anyone out here now in internet land here in the platform, I see a couple people signed in. If any of you's got some
questions, some comments.
Yeah, just something.
It's time to have to do this little go back and forth with each other. And it's great because you guys are tuned in. So we're able to actually have that conversation right now. Throw in some questions or whatever, because you're not in the studio, but you can be part of the program of the studio.
And speaking of that, I did get a DM today that a lady said her friend in California would really be interested in doing a remote.
Oh, nice.
And he was let me see if I go back to the message. He said that he was an MMA fighter, and he has an amazing story. He lost his leg before a big fight and ended up getting on drugs and still loving our Lord. It's an amazing story, and I believe he would.
Yo, man,
He would
that's
do
exactly the kind
Yeah.
of men we want to speak with and talk to and stuff. And I get lots of those DMs where it's like, "Hey, man, can I get on your podcast?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's your story?" And some of them really don't have a story, but we're looking at influencing other men that are walking in that walk or going through it now or came out of it. That's the testimony we're looking for. I'm not looking for like, this is what I think about the war in Iraq. Okay, everybody's got their opinion about
Yeah.
that. I'm questioning like what's happening in your life.
Yeah, and
what's
I mean,
going on
like
with
we
you.
we could down the road, just like we give an attempt to the huddle.
Yeah.
And we could do an open table, conversation once a week or something, or once a month, to where we open up that platform to that. But right now, what we're in assignment, right? This is the mafia.
Dude.
We're always in assignment, and we gotta keep pushing, because while we're in assignment, the enemy is swinging, and there is no mandatory 15-minute break or any union PTO that you got to take, earn or burn. Like,
man, like I
this
tell
is
everybody, bro, it's like a duck on the water, right? Like it looks like we're doing everything smooth, but you really don't know the battles and the trials and the things that go on. And I know everybody has their own battles and their trials and things that are happening with it and stuff, but I can tell you this much. When you put it on with kingdom set eyes and spiritual eyes, you see everything a little bit different. Like, well, I guess I would say tremendously different. And the ins and outs. So the what ifs are a little bit harder. They're a little bit more dialed in, but a little bit harder. And people that have been through that can relate to it and stuff. I'd like to touch a little bit about what's been happening here in Denver, man. Like we've been seeing a heat wave come through, but we've been seeing a heat wave of crime too. There's been a lot of crazy crimes going on that I've never seen before.
I think the crime is just going with the times. Like people have been pushed in survival mode so long that survival mode ain't surviving anymore. And
it's just part of them.
And right now, I think there's more, because like I think crime has been, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say yes or no to this, but what I'm saying is that there's more cameras out now. So crime is being caught more vividly
than what it used to.
Accidents, fatal accidents that people could drive by and expose to the general public. But I think what it is now that we're so desensitized to the live, like everybody's live, like someone's getting beat up, and instead of trying to stop it, everyone's just trying to get their viral moment out of it.
Or we see it happening on our phone, or somebody's and we just scroll past it. Oh, he's getting beat up. Let me go on. Let me just keep on going on.
Smoking.
Trying to watch that, and you see it happen over and over. And I guess you're right. It's more of that. We see it all over social media.
When it gets hot, man, I mean, the
temperature turns it up.
When the temperature turns up, attitudes get turned up. Mental health starts to get worn out. Man, when the simple things in life are no longer simple, you start getting by any means necessary. But what's happening is there's probably a little bit of that, but what's happening now is the disregard to general law. You know what I mean? Like bro, like you're trying to steal a Hyundai from a family that if that Hyundai leaves, it's going to be drastic.
Integrity, morals, and just plain out, just being a decent person. And I wanted to touch on that, and we'll touch on it sometime later, but I wanted to talk about survival mode. What does a person that is in survival mode look like? What is really happening with them? And have they been conditioned into survival mode because their parent, their single mom or their single dad has always been in survival mode? So that's the only thing that they know. Now it's passed on to the younger generation, and they don't know the relaxation and the peace and any of that. They've been surrounded by survival mode, which means that you tend to be selfish and self-centered, because you're like, you know what? I got to get what I got to get. No matter how I get it, I got to get it. I got to stay ahead of the game, because something else of a what if might happen. So you either stay planted and deal with a lot of stuff that is mentally disturbing to you, or you go out there and you start attacking different things in a different way. Now, I'm not saying survival mode is super bad, but survival mode definitely can make you a very selfish, self-centered person, that everything around you, your whole world is only you, and you don't know how to relax. And if you're that person, imagine how you're portraying that onto your children. They think that's what normal adulthood is, and that's the way life is.
And see, we get it twisted, right? Because perception and perspective of, okay, now survival mode. For me, survival mode means I'm gonna go get another job. I'm gonna pick up some more OT hours. I'm going to do things right to get where I need to go, to provide for my family or to be an impact in the community. But what these kids are doing now, and I'm just calling them kids. I'm not trying to disrespect.
They're not old enough like us. So yeah.
So the younger generation, right, this is fun because like they back in the day, like if you were able to hotwire a car, you knew somebody. This was a trade that was passed down. It wasn't something that you could just get on an app and
learn how to do it.
Learn, watch a couple videos and then now it's just let's go do this. But what it is okay. So when we used to get like when God, I'm incriminating myself.
Man, we can't go on because our life is only gonna last for about another 5-10 minutes.
The criminal element here.
Criminal element.
But what happens is back in the day when we used to do dirt, when it was time to get caught, we ran. And now when the people are getting caught, it's like, what do you want to do? And mind blowing because like you're bringing a weapon to a gunfight, and people who are trying to come out to protect their family, it's bad for everybody because if the thieves pop off at the civilians or the civilians pop off at them, or if the cops show up and shoot everybody, and I'm not trying to point a finger at what I'm just saying is that once we hit this level, there's no taking it back.
Well, here's what I think about that whole survival mode is compared to the youngsters compared to us. Back then, some of the stuff we did for fun, but some of the stuff that we did, it was all about making money to survive. We didn't just go out there to do it. Like this mob of going mobbing a Coach bag store. None of those kids need a Coach bag to survive, right? Like, what are you doing that? Well, I gotta be able to have this. Okay, what are you doing it for? Do you got a home? Do you got food? Do you got a house do you got a roof over your head? Why are you doing such a thing? There may be a couple guys that are like, you know what, I have all that, but I'm greedy and self-centered, so I want to be able to steal more so I can sell it and keep more money. So again, like I said, the survival mode goes different on, like you said, the perspective. And I like that part because what ends up happening with these guys is the sad scenario that we're starting to see right now is that somebody's trying to steal somebody's car. That guy comes out to protect what he has earned, and here comes shots fired. Now, instead of you doing something that needed for you to survive so you can have some money, now it turns into a shootout. Somebody dies, somebody gets shot, something happens, and now you find yourself in a whole different type of survival mode. Survival of not getting into the system, or survival of surviving that assault and that attack on you.
And I mean, the whole like mob in a store to get Coach bags. I mean, that you guys missed the point of get the bag. I mean, that's the wrong bag.
They literally getting the bag, but not the bag.
Yeah, I mean, like, you taking a bag, and what are you going to do? Get on Facebook and sell it on Marketplace? And now, like, bro, like I'm glad I'm old, man, because what I used to do as a youngster, I don't know if I could do it in this generation because like not only are you on camera everywhere, but your phone snitches on you. Your GPS, that's because like, obviously most of these kids can't even get around town anymore. So they're Googling like, map questing which way to go. And I mean, it's all bad all the way around. But what we got to do, guys, is we got to start looking at, as what Coach is saying, is we got to start bringing some integrity back into the community. Like, back in the day, we used to have gangs that claim sets, and it started out as respect my neighborhood. And it's obviously grown past, the mafia days and everything else, where it was about respect and protecting, to now it's just going wild. And I'm not knocking nobody for doing nothing because, as a youngster, I was out there.
Hey, we all had that young thing that we did, but we also know the OGs and stuff. I remember being around the OGs and they were doing wrong, but these cats always said, like, stay in your books. Don't be like me. There's better opportunities for you. And matter of fact, those dudes would pass out money, bring candy through the neighborhood, give money to the orphanages in town. Make sure that the fruit man or the meat man made sure that some of these women that were struggling got some money or got some extra stuff. It wasn't always about them taking and taking. But we don't see that no more.
No, and what we got to remember now, right, is that we can't wait to give the cliche of thoughts and prayers are with you.
Ooh.
Because once it gets to that stage of this situation, none of that is with them, because the pain, the grief, and what's next on that road of this, the enemy, right? And all this goes back to the enemy, because what's putting it in your mind to go do this? It's you're not renewing your mind. You're not, because obviously if he's in the word, you wouldn't be trying to steal a Hyundai.
Fact.
You wouldn't be out trying to be a Kia boy.
Fact.
You would be in the community, like what you're saying, trying to do an impact, trying to mentor, trying to, and
you know what's crazy behind that is that Brother Taylor talked about the fear of God, and so you talk about morals and integrity. That's not being preached and teach to the home. Why is it not? Because these kids aren't learning that there's God watching you, and have a fear of God.
Yeah,
have a fear of that. You know what? Have you obeyed His commandments? Because if you ain't doing this and you ain't doing that, there's only one place that ends up, and that's why a lot of people don't even want to believe in God, because and if you see it. If you really look at it and you look at our society, do we really believe in God? Do we really have a fear of God? Do we really have a fear of judgment? Are we more fear of the judgment that we're going to get from man being locked up? They're going to lock me up for this and they're going to lock me up for that, but I'll only do 3 years, 5 years. Are you even fearful of standing before God's judgment seat for all the things that you've done and realizing that's a way heavier, stronger penalty than what you're going to be dealing with here in this life.
Right.
So we just wanted to touch a little bit about that. I mean, I'm sorry we went down that part of the deep end, but again, we're on assignment here. And so anybody got any questions or anything, please shout out. We're about ready to cut this live right now and get into what we need to produce for the next week's podcast. But feel free to always comment, DM, hit us up, and we're always looking for other people to bring on.
Just to give a shout out to the YouTube community. We jumped up to 242 members or subscribers. So that's jumped in the last month from like maybe 210, 15 to 240. So, big shout out to you guys. Our views have been phenomenal the last 2 weeks, as far as I think it was like 19K, 22K. So YouTube, man, shout out to you guys. Shout out to the Facebook community, because the Facebook community has been loving this last episode of clips that have been coming out, and we've got a wide array of comments and feedback off of them. So big ups to you guys. From the very heartfelt comments where you guys explain something that this tied to you, and to the ones that I don't know what it tied to, man. But big ups to all of you that are
check it out, man. 70,227. And then another viewer, we had 190,006. Like, things are really jumping and popping. And we also know that that's probably the reason why we're having these issues, what we've been having this week in the fight that we've been having. Because, again, like I said, when you look on with spiritual eyes, you start to see the enemy saying they're affecting people now.
Yeah,
people are really starting to tune in. So, again, we would love to hear how some of these things affected you, how whatever Brother Chris had said, if whether it was good or bad, please comment.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, you know what? I don't even like trip on what gets. I mean, hey, whatever. I thank you for your comment, and I'm glad that you blessed us with your presence at that moment when you decided, right or wrong. I mean, like, hey, you want to get into the deep theology of what we said? I'm sorry, because we're not trying to be deep. We're just two brothers sitting here on a microphone. One guy said, "Oh, you guys are thirsty for likes." We're just thirsty for the word, man. And
I ain't thirsty for the likes. I'm thirsty for the souls that are lost.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thirsty for. And I think that's what Jesus came for too. So take it however y'all want to take it.
Yeah, and you know what, man? We got so caught up in trying to go live, I didn't get my program on to where I could cut the camera. So
I guess we gotta step up and get it. But again, tell a friend to tell a friend. We did it again.
This is not good. Oh my Lord! I gotta figure out how to hide that. But yeah, man. Tell a friend. We did it live again, man. We'll see you this week.
Peace.